everyone, it's me Pratima. So for the past few weeks, my team and I have been testing a lot of laptops, and during this sale on Amazon and Flipkart, we found the best options for you guys. From super affordable laptops to Ultrabooks for gaming, for programmers and content creation, everything ranging from as little as 30,000 Indian rupees to all the way to 2 lakhs. I am not going to talk about high-end laptops in this video because the newer laptops with more powerful RTX 5070, 5080 and 5090 GPUs and the new high-end CPUs from Intel and AMD are launching very soon. Plus, there aren't a lot of deals on those high-end laptops yet. So let me start with the best budget laptops right now that cost around 30 to 35,000 rupees only. And here I suggest you avoid going with Chromebooks or those low power Celeron and N-series Intel processors altogether, since they are simply not that powerful in 2025. Instead, I will recommend you go for something with at least Intel Core i3 or AMD's Ryzen 3 CPU alongside at least 8GB of RAM and an NVMe SSD for storage. And there are quite a few laptops that check all those boxes. Dell's Vostro, the HP 15S, the VivoBook 16 from Asus and Lenovo's V14. All of them have Intel's 12th Gen Core i3 chipsets that handle like workloads like editing work documents, web browsing and light photo editing just fine. And all of them have at least 8GB of DDR4 RAM that can be upgraded in the future along with fast SSDs. But you need to know that most budget laptops come with pretty bad TN panels that just don't look nice. So I would recommend you either go with this Vostro or the VivoBook 16, which have better LCD screens. I like the smooth 120Hz VA screen of this Vostro, but the large 16-inch display of the VivoBook is just great as well, especially the tall 16:10 aspect ratio. The VivoBook has some extra nice features too, like a fingerprint reader, a Type-C port and a backlit keyboard with better build quality. So yeah, go for this VivoBook if your budget is just around 30,000 rupees. Now, if you can extend your budget to around 50,000 rupees, you can get much better laptops at that price range, like the Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3 that's powered by an H series processor. More specifically, this one has Intel's Core i5-12450H CPU that can handle everything from basic office applications to coding, light gaming and such. I also love how Lenovo went with a fast Gen 4 SSD and LPDDR5 RAM here, although I should mention that its 16GB RAM is soldered and therefore is not upgradable. Other than performance, the IdeaPad Slim 3's build quality is much better than most budget laptops too. It's quite compact and lightweight. It has a nice 14-inch IPS display with 300 nits of maximum brightness, and there are a bunch of other little things that you will love about this guy, like its front-facing speakers, a full HD webcam, backlit keyboard, and plenty of I/O, including a USB-C with power delivery. The only problem I found with the IdeaPad Slim 3 is that its battery life is not the best because of that power-hungry H series CPU. It lasted me only 4 to 4.5 hours on average. Now let's talk about budget Ultrabooks, and in 2025 you are going to get some really good options with a more premium build, excellent color accurate display, faster performance and much longer battery life. I have two choices for you guys in this segment, the M1 MacBook Air and the Asus Swift Go 14 OLED. I know the M1 MacBook Air is almost 5 years old at this point, but I still find it so easy to recommend. The only thing that kind of sucks about the M1 MacBook Air is that it only has 256 gigs of storage and you can't even upgrade it down the line. But other than that, I would say the base MacBook Air is still worth it in 2025. For Windows laptops, Asus Swift Go 14 is a great Ultrabook that frequently goes on sale for around 65,000 rupees. It has twice the memory and storage as the MacBook Air on top of Intel's Meteor Lake processor that is actually quite powerful and energy efficient. Well, not as efficient as Apple's M1 chip, but you can end up with a full workday's battery life in normal usage, so that's not a problem. And since it has a couple of fans, I found that it can sustain its peak performance on relatively demanding workloads like gaming and video editing pretty well too. The SwiftGo 14's display is even more impressive since you're looking at a gorgeous OLED panel here, that too with 100% DCI-P3 colors, a sharp 2.8K resolution, a smooth 90Hz refresh rate, and HDR support. And if you can increase your budget, you can also go with the Lunar Lake edition. That's like 15 to 20,000 expensive, but it will offer you much better battery life. Likewise, Apple's M2 and M3 MacBook Air are also some of my favorite premium lightweight laptops. They've got a sexy looking metal design, a bright and colorful display, an excellent keyboard, excellent trackpad, all-day battery life, excellent performance, and the most unbeatable reliability of Mac OS. The best thing is that these new MacBook Airs now come with 16 GB of RAM. You can still find the 8 GB variant in stock here and there, but if you're spending nearly 1 lakh rupees on an Ultrabook, I really don't think you should cheap out in terms of memory. So if you're a university student looking for a reliable daily driver or a freelancer who likes to work in cafes and libraries, both the M2 MacBook Air and the M3 MacBook Air are going to be one of your best decisions. But not everyone likes MacBooks, right? Like my little sister right over there. So if you're someone like my sister looking for the best Windows Ultrabook, you can check out the Asus ZenBook S14 or the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7i Aura instead. Both of them are powered by Intel's new Lunar Lake processors, and both of them manage smooth performance, have beautiful scenes, and all-day battery life like the MacBook Airs. But honestly, I would recommend you wait for a few months before buying these laptops. They are way too expensive right now, and alternatives like the SwiftGo 14 with Lunar Lake and VivoBook S14 with AMD AI processors are available for better deals. And the AMD one is actually more powerful, but you will get slightly worse battery life there. Similarly, if you're a very casual user who does not use any specialized software at all, then the Snapdragon X series Ultrabooks have some awesome battery life too. These are based on ARM architecture, hence many applications like AutoCAD, VPNs, and some games don't work well. But if all you do on your laptop is watch movies and use office applications, then you can get one for as little as 80,000 rupees. Okay, so now let's talk about gaming laptops, and like I said earlier, Nvidia just launched the RTX 50 series graphics, and both AMD and Intel have launched their super powerful processors as well. But the newer laptops with these chips are going to be super expensive right now, so the older generation laptops are going to be more value for money, and going forward you will find them on a very good discounted rates. Like this Acer Nitro V15, which is a very good option for 1080p gaming for around 60,000 rupees. It has AMD's Ryzen 5 7535HS CPU and RTX 3050 graphics with 65 watt of total graphics power. This combo means that you can play CS2 at well over 100 FPS, and I was even getting nearly 60 FPS on something as graphically demanding as Cyberpunk 2077. Plus, this guy had no trouble playing games like Forza Horizon 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. The Nitro V15 even has a smooth 144Hz display, lots and lots of ports, and it's surprisingly not that heavy as well. But then again, as expected from a cheap gaming laptop, its build quality is not the best. Its fan noise is super loud, and this display isn't that color accurate either if you're a graphics or a UI UX designer. However, if you can spare some extra 15 to 20,000 rupees, I have a much better gaming laptop I would like to recommend. The Lenovo's Log 15, which has the Intel Core i5-12450HX and a much powerful 105 watt RTX 4050 GPU. It also has a much better build quality with minimal wobble and cleaner aesthetics as well. Its 144Hz display also has 100% sRGB colors, making it great for color-sensitive works like photo and video editing. Lenovo also has done an excellent job with thermals and fan noise on this thing, and of course the Log 15 is much better at gaming too. If you look at these FPS numbers, this guy is ahead versus the 3050 laptops in every single game by a comfortable margin. Especially in games like Cyberpunk 2077, where you can take full advantage of that RTX 4050 GPU with features like frame generation that you're not going to find on 30 series GPUs. Okay, moving on, let me now talk about the best gaming laptop under 1 lakh rupees, which I am sure is the sweet spot for most of the gamers. And here, yet again, the Lenovo Log 15 with a more powerful Core i7 CPU and RTX 4060 graphics is my favorite. Those upgraded chips means this guy can handle all the latest AAA games and is also powerful enough for next-gen gamers, like the GTA 6 for example. And since the RTX 4060 GPU has 8GB of VRAM over 4056 GB, it can push the graphics settings without major performance dips here. Alright, so let's talk about some more powerful mid-range gaming laptops, something that you can buy under 1.5 lakhs. Here you can either choose between the Acer Predator Helios Neo 16 or the Lenovo Legion 5i. Both come with powerful 13 and 14 Gen HX processors from Intel and 140-watt RTX 4060 GPU. For the best value, I suggest you go with 13 Gen since that one is like 15 to 20,000 cheaper and there isn't a lot of difference between the 13 and 14 Gen Intel processors. Anyway, both the Helios Neo 16 and the Legion 5i pushes similar FPS numbers in both 1080p and 1440p games. They both have excellent thermals, a fast 165Hz display with 100% sRGB colors, a 4-zone RGB keyboard, and all the I/O options that you could ever want. So I think it essentially comes down to things like design and build quality when choosing between these two. So if you're a fan of that gamer look, then go with the Helios Neo 16. As you can see, compared to the clean and minimal look of the Legion 5, this guy definitely has a lot more character to it. But at the same time, I should tell you that this one is quite heavier than the Legion 5, coming at 2.6 kgs versus 2.3 kgs here. Not just the laptop, but you should also be prepared to deal with a bulkier 330-watt charger if you decide to go with the Helios Neo 16. Okay, so finally, my favorite category, compact powerful laptops, and here I have two great recommendations for you. First is the newly launched 14-inch MacBook Pro with M4 chip, and if you're Team Windows, the Asus Zephyrus G14 is just so damn good. This year's 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pro's performance upgrade is just something that I really liked. It boasts the snappiest performance out of any laptops that I have tested, and everything just flows here. Whether I edit videos on multiple 4K layers, work with 3D projects on Blender, or literally any other computationally heavy workload. The best thing I found about the MacBook Pro is that it can even maintain peak performance when it's not plugged in. The Zephyrus G14 is also one of my favorite compact Windows laptops, especially thanks to its RTX 4060 graphics. It also has a powerful Ryzen 9 8945HS CPU and a beautiful 120Hz OLED display, all housed inside a compact body that weighs less than the MacBook Pro. I also like the TUF A14, but that one has not seen any price cut here, unlike in the US. So I think the Zephyrus G14 is just a better value overall. Okay, so everyone, that was all for my super in-depth laptop buy guide for 2025. I might have missed some good laptops too, so it would be awesome if you guys could comment down below if I've missed something. And yes, I did not talk about any high-end laptops in this video because I think it could be worth waiting for RTX 50 series graphics and the newer CPUs from Intel and AMD if you really want a high-power gaming or content creation laptop. Okay, so saying this, I'm Pratima Adhikari. Do subscribe to our channel if you like our content, and I will see you in the next video.